Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Well, this is our latest vlog. We are here at the, I don't know, what would you call this place again?
It's like they're gonna go to a brothel kind of thing.
Well, it's basically just an organization that supposedly goes and takes us to haunted places here. And today it's going to be about the brothel. That we're trying to actually see if that's true. Well, we'll find out.
And the next one is scheduled to be the cemetery one.
Yeah, next we're going to the cemetery one. I know it's been a while since we've even posted any videos at all whatsoever, but you know, now that we finally got our things together and stuff like that, you know, we're preparing to make more videos. So, like, any words you want to say?
No.
Anything you want to say?
No.
Know for a fact that if we don't come back alive from this trip and she is alive, then it's her fault. It's her fault. You know, she probably caused my death and probably the whole thing. You know, I needed to call somebody. I need people to call somebody.
Goodbye.
All change hats, floor mopper, sweeper, you know, we do a little bit of everything. The young lady.
Yeah, it does that for every session and only has a limited amount to do for a long period of time. That doesn't mean it's running out of room.
You get one of these.
Yeah, eventually. So, are you recording basically like for blog wise? Because like, I mean like, because I'm trying to figure out like what am I recording for?
Blog.
Well, then I'll just record
the lights out,
the action, I guess.
And what, Bonnie, you gonna do evidence first, or what are you gonna do? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. If you guys, first of all, there is no smoking on the tour, no vaping, no anything, even when we're outside. Also, if you have a smartphone, you're more than welcome to run Ghost Radar, you can run your recorder device, record the EVP, you never know, you might capture something. So use your, take pictures, you never know what you're gonna catch, so, real quick.
Don't use mine. It doesn't have enough space.
Okay, this device that I'm putting down here, that's called a REM pod. And REM stands for Radiating Electromagnetic Pod. And as I said earlier, we believe that spirits emit energy, and they also feed off of energy. And what this does is it's kind of like a little energy pump, but it also, if something breaks that plane, it'll go off. And we've used it in investigations because we can leave it and not worry about it. Put a camera on it. We can hear it if we're in another room, check our monitors, or run in there and see what's going on. It usually does go off in here. I will warn you, it is pretty active in here. Now, we have investigated this building. When we first moved in, we didn't have nearly half of this furniture in here. And we're in here for a little bit, and we're getting a little bit of activity, a little bit K2 hits, REM pod was going off, DAW was going off. But it was getting late, we were tired, decided to leave. So as we're leaving, we had left the REM pod right over there, not in the front of the door, but about right in front of the bar. And we had Annabelle in front of it. So we're leaving, locking up, and Colette, as she turns around, we're in the doorway, she turns around, she goes, bye! And both the REM pod and the DAW went off. We're like, oh my God, fangirl, I'm like, do it again. So she does it, she goes, bye! And it went off again, both of them. So we ran a recorder that night, kept the recorder running, and I want to play, I want to play a little bit of the audio from that investigation, okay? Now, this is like 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's no one in here.
then on the video you'll see
You're walking.
you'll see Annabelle going on.
Mm-hmm. And again, there's no one in here at the time. I mean, the building's basically empty because we hadn't moved anything in here. Okay. So when people ask us, well, is your building haunted? We're like, you know what? We have never caught anything on video. But the audio that we've caught in here, and just from, we're all skeptics. Those of us who are on the team, on the crew, who do investigations, we're all skeptics, believe it or not. Not everything is haunted. But there are times when we come in here and it feels fine. And then there are other times we come in here and you're like, okay, back off. Because it's really very heavy and it feels like there's someone in here with you. So when people ask us, it's like, we think so. Now, on our website, we have links for 2 webcams. There's one there and there's another one up there. They're both off at the moment. This one looks like it's unplugged and that one's not on for some reason. We usually have them on the weekends. So if you're at home, bored, don't have anything to do, you're welcome to hit that link and see if you can find anything. Just sit there and watch it for a little bit. And they both have audio. So trust me, there have been nights when I've sat there and listened to them, watched them, and it's crazy noisy in here. We've never seen anything. People have said that they have, but I never have. But it's crazy noisy in here. So what I would like to do is we're going to go lights out. It won't be that dark because you've got your necklaces on. But we're going to do a little bit of an EDP session. Go ahead, Colette, you want to? I know, it's... Now, there is an app we use. It's an app. It is not scientific. We don't ever use it as a means. Like if we have a client, I would never tell them, oh, well, Ghost Radar said this name, so your house is haunted. I would never do that. But when we're doing investigations, we do use, I know you have your phone there, we do use what it gives us and we kind of run with it because it's kind of a way to see what we get. So what I'm going to do, now EDP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena. And what that means is that we could be here asking questions and we don't hear a thing. We don't hear any kind of response. But if we go back to and listen to a recording, like there's a digital recording that we're making of that session, we go back and listen to it, and sure enough, we've got responses. And they're intelligent responses. They're appropriate for the questions you were asking. So I'm going to do a little bit of an EVP session. Actually, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let Colette do an EVP session. I talked enough this afternoon. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Last weekend we were getting responses, especially in the alley. We're hoping again tonight. Let's see. Hello. We're back. We brought some new friends with us this week. Is there anybody that would like to speak with us? Again, we're recording the audio, so you never know. We'll listen to it in a little bit. Some of my friends have devices in their hands with green lights on them. If you go near them, they will change color. So if there's anybody who would like to talk to us, change one of the lights to a different color for us. If your K2s go off, please let us know. Yeah, let us know. We won't catch it.
They can't hurt you. Of course, Annabelle, I'm not sure if she's working. She doesn't seem to be staying on. She's right there. Yeah, I don't know if maybe her battery.
You know what? It gets loose.
Yeah, so that's what I was wondering. Last weekend we were talking to John. John, are you here with us? We know you're here. Can you let us know you're here by turning one of these lights to a different color? Or touching Annabelle? Okay. That is not a normal noise, guys, just so you know. You don't know what that was. Is it windy outside?
Unless one of you guys hit the something on the wall.
No?
No?
Also last week we were talking to Lily. She didn't want to talk to me or Bonnie, but she was talking to a gentleman in the audience. Would any of you gentlemen like to ask Lily a question? She, we believe, was a prostitute here. She was one of the soiled doves that had a crib on the second floor. She doesn't like us. She views us as competition. Why, we don't know, but she does. But she likes the men. So if any of you would like to ask her a question, a yes and no question, we'll see if we can.
Over here. Over here.
Right here. Is there someone? Oh.
Lily, are you here?
Go ahead and ask questions.
Lily, how much you charge?
I was going to ask that.
You got Facebook?
On the street, can you try to talk in Spanish? Because back then there was a lot of more
Yeah,
people
we've
spoke Spanish.
got responses that way too, so feel free. I do not speak
Lily,
Spanish.
¿estás aquí?
Lily, ¿cuánto cobras?
¿Alguien aquí que quiera hablar? ¿Alguien aquí? Anybody?
Lily, ¿estás aquí? Lily.
Lily, if you don't show up, I'll get a refund.
Well, Lily, if you're here, we can't stay too much longer. We have to get going, but when we stop in the alley, we're gonna try again because that's usually where she responds to us. Why in the alley, we don't know, but she does. Her and John. John likes us. He's a nice guy.
John, are you here?
Lily, there's a song about you called Lily Was Here. Would you like to hear it? Well, it's about Lily.
No, we're not getting anything. It seems quiet in here tonight, other than whatever that noise was.
Sí. Sí.
And we do know that there were deaths that happened here. There was a shooting over a card game, and a gentleman was shot and killed. They used to have boxing matches in here. We do know that in one story, a gentleman actually rode his horse into the saloon. I'm sure that was a thrill. So, a lot of interesting
I
things.
feel
So let's do this.
cold on
So
one
it's
side
fine
only.
here. We're gonna go lights up, and we'll head outside and get started. And then we'll go into the alley and do a little bit of an AQ session there and see if we get any activities.
Do you want to listen to the audio at all? Or
Awesome, yes.
Let's see if we got anything on audio goes. Let me stop it. And we'll plug it in and we'll play it. Okay? We'll see if we caught anything in the audio. Because that usually it might seem quiet, but then we'll catch. We'll see.
You really think it was them?
I'm gonna go lines up with one night for lights, okay? So
Okay.
watch your eyes, guys, because you're.
Okay. So buy just this white cord, correct?
Yes. Now, when we do
There
investigation,
was a lot of people today.
usually we don't go right back out and listen to it at that time, but that is a technique that you can use. Check our. Are we ready? Yep.
Sorry, buddy. I was
Yeah.
just making sure it was going. We good? Okay, guys, let's see if we caught anything.
Monitors or run in there and see what's going on. It usually does go off and I will warn you, we
I was
did
putting it
turn
down.
out and now we have investigated this building. When we first moved in, we didn't have nearly half of this furniture in here. And, we're in here for a little bit and we're getting a little bit of activity, a little bit of activity, grandpa was going on, dog was going on. But, we were getting late, we were tired, decided to leave. So as we're leaving, we had left the restaurant right over there, not in the front of the door, but in front of the bar. And we had Annabelle in front of it. So we're leaving, locking up, and Colette, as she turns around, we're in the doorway, she turns around, she goes, bye!
It's getting slightly
And
warm
both the
again.
red hot and the dog went off. We're like, oh my God, sad girl, you know. I was like, do it again. So she does it, she goes, bye! And it went off again, both of them. So, we ran a recorder that night, kept the recorder running, and I want to play, yeah. I want to play a little bit of the audio. I was like, oh, yeah. That investigation, okay? This is like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Can we skip forward to the EVP session?
Yeah.
Because that's going to play my audio
Yes.
again.
I can do it myself. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's not.
And on the video.
I'm sorry? What it does is it's smart. She's asking about the app while Colette's looking for that where it starts. The app Ghost Radar, what it does is because smartphones have algorithms and they have motion sensors, heat
So when
sensors,
people
microphones. And within the app, what it does is it acclimates to where it is. And then if something moves around it or it picks up sound, it picks up motion, it puts a little dot based on the strength of that interference. So that's why you get different colored dots. And then the words that it says, there's an algorithm within the app that changes supposedly the energy or whatever it's picking up into words. And people might think, well, it's just an app. Even I am at times, but we used it out at the cemetery. And I got 2 names in quick succession as I was walking up one of the roads in the middle of the night. And I said, okay, I'm going to stop. And I looked around, headstones, 2 headstones right there, had the 2 names that I had just gotten. Coincidence? Yes, but I find it pretty interesting. And it has said Colette's name, and her name is not that common a name. It has had, we were doing a tour and we were explaining how it was working and said that sometimes it says our names. Heather, the other tour guide, she had said, well, yeah, it has said my name, and then all of a sudden it said Heather on one person's phone, and then on another person's phone it said Shay. Called Dean an asshole. I mean, maybe they know something we don't. I don't know. Ready? Okay.
So when people ask us, well, is your building haunted? We're like, you know what, we have never caught anything on video. But the audio that we caught in here, and just from,
I thought that was it.
But there are times when we
If we don't find it, we'll go ahead
feel
and.
very heavy. And so when people ask us, there's another one up there.
No?
So if you're at home, they both have audio.
No?
It's right here, but
You never see it.
I can't get this blind person to, you
So
know.
what I would like to do is
Well, why don't we find it?
But we're gonna be-
And then when we come back in, you
go ahead, Colette, you want to?
can. Awesome.
I know, it's. Now, there is an app we use. It's an app. It is not scientific. We don't ever use it as a means. Like if we have a client, I would never tell them, oh, well, go straight after this name so your house is haunted. I would never do that. But when we're doing investigation, we do use, I know you have your phone there. We do use what it gives us and we kind of run with it because it's kind of a way to electronic voice phenomena.
Let's determine to find it. I say go ahead and find it and mark it, Colette, and when we come back in, we can listen to it. Or maybe
So,
let's find it and we'll listen to it in the alley.
Okay.
How's that?
Yep.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and we're gonna head outside. Let's go.
Basically, we just did, what was it, what was it again? An EVP. Right now we're heading out to the alley that's next to the building. We actually felt something very cold. And it's not even that cold outside in all honesty. We even just came outside and it wasn't as cold as it was when we went through that session.
No, but we're in the alley.
But now we're in the alley and we'll see what happens next.
Which I forgot to collect. Is it? So, this is where John Selman, him and Scarborough were having an argument. They came out the back door. He was shot. He actually, fell here in this area. This is where we seem to get the response, and we have on our devices, we've gotten the name John. Is it John Selman? We don't know, but we like to think so. He seems very nice. He talks to us all the time. Like Bonnie said, he didn't have his gun. In fact, when he was laying here, before, he died later, but when he was laying here, his son Bud was here, and he's like, if I had my gun, where's my gun? If I had my gun, things would have been different. And what we had recently discovered, there's a theory out there, there's a little rumor that happened, that a guy was paid $20. He was to steal his gun while someone was playing cards. So he lifted the gun away from him. So when he was shot, he didn't have his gun. And later he said, oh, I found it lying next to him on the ground. Big lie, he didn't have his gun. So anyway, but with that, I forgot to come up with too, so they have them in their hands.
Oh,
That's okay. Hopefully they go off. Okay, real quick. Okay. Hello? We're back. John, are you with us tonight? Can you make any, yeah, we got the K2 already going off right here. Just hold it down, just hold it down there, tilt it down. Yeah, just don't touch the button. Yeah, there you go. John, if you're here, can you make this light go off again, this green light? Can you change that color for me if you're here? If anybody's K2s go off, can you let us know?
Kinda did.
Is it going?
No.
Everybody's going off?
This one right here.
Yeah, this one over here? Okay. Lily, are you here with us? Oh, there we go. Lily, are you here with us?
And usually Lily's the talker.
Yes. Gentlemen, please ask Lily a question. Yes or no answer question, please.
Lily, are you here today?
Would you like to talk to the gentleman? They really want to talk to you.
I just want the light to go off, Lily. Don't talk.
Chicken.
Hey, they follow you home.
I like you, man. If it starts talking, I'm out of here.
Everybody ask the question.
Lily, do you want to talk to us?
You have them go off? Yeah. Okay.
But it was a battleship called the Great Western. I don't know if I'd like to be called after a battleship. But anyway, with that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the mansion and head down the alley.
You all right? You sure? Are you sure? That was actually a big coincidence on the story there. What? On how they described this woman of the brothel. It's actually kind of like you.
Oh, shut up.
Except like for the obvious things. I think ever thought that maybe a long lost relative?
It's called the past life.
What were you doing? Guess you never know. Always good. Well, that's been pretty good. Are you okay with your head?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Oh,
Was it something?
trying to get it in my head a lot.
Well, so far we've seen a little activity, but you know, we'll let you in more.
I'm purposely holding this thing. It doesn't work.
It kind of did work, actually. You didn't notice it. I did.
Because I move it. I move it. See? Move it. It does.
Anyway, we're walking down the street. Off to see more.
Oh, shit.
More details about the act.
Must be a lot of electromagnetic.
Could be. But basically, actually, you won't get all the details on this
Why
actual
did my
vlog.
leg hurt all the time?
Because your leg always hurts.
No, I mean, like, it doesn't tell me. When that spike went.
I'm not sure. It could be something.
Okay,
But
we're over here.
we will let you know more info
Okay.
in the other video.
A lot of history.
There's a lot of history, but so far, as we go down through another alley, everyone's making a lot of noise, trying to scare people, you know. So far, we felt more when we were closer to the building more than anything so far. But so far, a lot of history that we didn't really know, which is actually, well, it's surprising to me. What about you?
Actually, yeah. Didn't expect a lot of that in different buildings. But looking at the actual buildings, you know, you can see a lot of history of that. Just didn't
Yep.
know.
So far, we've had some activity, but what do you think? Anything serious?
No.
From what you can sense? Nope. Well, we feel little things, but nothing really serious right now. But, you know, we'll keep you updated in the other video. That's when we actually have more detailed video.
Speed it up before we can get it.
Oh, gosh. I'm following you, so you're my guide.
Yeah.
Stop the card.
Alright.
But, yeah, you know, right now we're just walking around, seeing what happens. Like I said, the more details will be in a different video. This is more of like our little afterthoughts of what we went through during like the tour.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
Public arch shooting. Because guess where Etta shot Alice? At that time of El Paso history, in that era, a woman's private area was called the pubic arch. Now, Etta actually was shot right in that area. Alice, she lay down on the ground, and all her girls came out and helped her and took her inside, and she actually recovered from the wound. She could have gotten blood poisoning, but she actually recovered and was okay. But much to her humiliation, in the newspapers the next day, it said, Madam of the Tenderloin district shot in the public arch. not the pubic arch, which would have been the appropriate term. They called her the public arch. So she was humiliated publicly. So now she really, really hated Etta. So she recovers. Etta's got her girl. So what actually happened is that Alice hired a couple of gentlemen, and they actually went to Etta's brothel and set it on fire. Yeah, they were not necessarily nice. Trust me, they were out for blood. Set it on fire, and the ladies were actually very fortunate to get out with their lives, and they really didn't have anything else. Clothes on their backs, and that's it. Are we blocking him? But she did have smoke inhalation damage through her lungs, and it did affect her later on in her life, Miss Etta. But we're going to continue that story a little bit later, and now we're going to go talk about Tilly Howard and Bass Outlaw.
Alright. Okay, so that story about Alice and the photo. Oh my gosh. It's a bit of a...
I had a few past lives.
I mean, like, it is way too much of a coincidence. And she showed me one of her oldest photos of her family, and like, I can see a resemblance. Either this was her in a past life, or one of her ancestors down the line. I have no idea.
No.
But the attitude and whatnot and everything that we've been hearing just screams that it's you.
What? Both? Both the other girl and this one?
Yep. What have you been doing in the past life?
Apparently I ran a brothel. I got shot.
Well, I don't know. Could be. Well, let us continue.
March. Awesome. Oh, you're gonna do it? You want me to do it?
No, I was just wondering if
They're coming.
Muy contento.
Still some more people. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we are actually standing in the site of Tilly Howard's, where her house was. It was a big Victorian, beautiful house. But the story of Tilly is kind of interesting. She was an orphan, but she was abused by her neighbors who cared for her. So at age 12, she ran away. And she was living in Pennsylvania at the time.
Saw a cat.
But she had plans to drown herself. I mean, she was just, a sad girl, abused, orphaned, But she happens to be near some train, and these gentlemen on the train crew, they saved her, they took her in, and she became known as a caboose girl. I know, sad, right? She was a prostitute who journeyed on the trains. And at 15, she joined the circus. But she heard about Alice Abbott, so she decided to come here after Alice Abbott retired. So she's like, I will get her brothel. So she did. She bought the brothel. It was at 307 Utah Street, which is now Mesa. So of course the houses don't exist anymore, which is sad. She became legendary in her parlor house because she was very kind to her girls. Her house decor was on velvet drapes. I mean, the top of the line. She had every luxury at the time. Oriental rugs, oil painting. She even had, each bedroom had a brass bed. I mean, it wasn't just, your average bed. Her ballrooms include mirrors and huge chandeliers. She had butlers and maids serve drinks and food. She had, top of the line. And I believe Bonnie is showing you a picture of her house.
Okay, so basically, what's it? We're getting a lot of history here. Right now, we're not really feeling too much. How about you?
No, but I hear a lot of yelling.
Well, it's downtown, but
No, I mean from our group.
yeah.
And I hate to say it, I mean, I used to party when I was younger. I had my wild days, but sometimes. So they're hard to find. They're very difficult to find. We do know that there are some who are buried in Evergreen, but not all. But now, Gypsy Davenport arrived in 1882. She was born in New York, raised in Davenport, Iowa, hence her name. Her two-story parlor house was not as elegant and fancy as the others, but was the cleanest in town. Her property, held in her own name, which was unusual for the time, at 42 Utah Street was worth about $80,000 at the time of her death. Now, the one thing about Gypsy Davenport that I really remember and always strikes me about her is that she was known for getting her customers drunk. Probably wasn't that difficult at the time, right? This is a picture of Miss Davenport. But she had a spare set of broken furniture. What would she use that for? What would happen is that the gentlemen would get pretty drunk, have their time with the young ladies, and basically pass out. Well, imagine their horror when they woke up the next morning and all of the furniture in the room was broken, the room was trashed, and the ladies would come in and say, "Look what you did to this room while you were, look what you did." And the guys are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember anything. Here, let me pay you for it." Well, you better. And of course it was all fake. Right?
That's smart.
That's smart though. It's wily as hell, but it's smart. And that's how she made her money. But she also, now when they awoke, they would be charged extra for the damages to the property. She was also sued and found guilty for the theft of $1,300 worth of diamonds from Alice Abbott in 1894. In the late 1890s, Davenport sold the contents of her brothel to Tilly Howard for $700. She left for Chihuahua City, Mexico, where she opened an elegant brothel called La Quinta. 5 years later, she returned to El Paso.
Billy, is that you talking to me?
What did I say about stuff that still goes on downtown?
Oh, they're coming this way.
Yeah, we'll walk that way. Now, 5 years later, she returned to El Paso and opened a brothel on East San Antonio Street. Davenport cared for abused girls, taking them in and even paying for their schooling at Loretto Academy. Sometime after opening her San Antonio Street brothel, she disappeared.
Only in downtown.
Okay? She's going to cross the street. Now there's another young lady I'd like to show you a picture of. She is.
Recording that.
Yeah.
I wasn't good on her bad side, that's for sure. This is Miss May Palmer. Now, Miss Palmer, she was the last of the top 5. Now, she was known, if you notice, man, I can't repeat. She was known for wearing these
History, woman.
with these great big ostrich feathers in there. Because that was the high fashion at the time. So that's what she was known for. Okay?
Another drink?
Now, Miss Palmer, she was born in 1867 to a wealthy family in Chicago. Her trademark was wearing ornately large plumed hats. She had owned lucrative brothels in Chicago, Salt Lake City, and Tucson, the Palmer House, before she arrived in El Paso. She bought an empty building at 309 South Utah Street and put $10,000 into what would be called Madame Palmer's Gentlemen's Club, where she was said to have the 12 most beautiful girls ever seen in the area. In 1908, she married a respectable assistant to a customs collector, horrifying polite society. Palmer gave up prostitution in 1910, but she never gave up her trademark large plumed hats. In 1915, she was diagnosed with pancreatic and pelvic cancer, and she traveled to Canada with her husband seeking a cure. In 1918, she passed away at the age of 51 in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Another?
This was the top 5 brothels were in this area. You had Etta Clark, well, Alice Abbott, Etta Clark, Tilly Howard, Gypsy Davenport, and May Palmer. They were all within this area. It's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where they were because the address numbers have changed. Over time, the address, the numbers are not the same. So it's very difficult, but there are maps. We do. No, for a while it was Mesa. Well, it's Mesa now. For a while.
Alright, well, this is actually just a video to say that the videos from here on out, right now my camera has run out of space, so you're gonna see. Now's not the point to say that you're right. That's the point where I have to explain here. So if you see videos from here on out on this one with better looking picture, which he likes to point out so much, well, that's because I ran out of space on my camera, and we're hoping to get better cameras in the future. So, you know, enjoy the awesome lighting and nice HD looking rest of the film of this video that was recorded was when I said I was going to switch from my camera to her phone. That's the funny thing. Everything from that point on, everything, you know, had file corruption or whatever it is. I have no idea. I don't really care. And we even had a hard time just trying to get the videos uploaded to the laptop itself. We actually took a picture when we tried to attempt to watch one of the videos that was corrupted. I had to be very quick about that screenshot, but you know, I didn't think
You lucked out on that one.
I didn't think her camera was gonna get that screenshot on time. But right now we're gonna show you what basically the screenshot was. I mean, you can probably tell us probably there's something wrong with the phone, but in all honesty, it's a brand new phone, and she hasn't dropped it or done anything with it. I'm sure of it.
That you know about.
Is there something you can tell me?
No, just simply that I have dropped it and I'm probably gonna get another new phone.
You haven't. It's a good phone. Why would you want to switch to another phone?
Have you not seen the Galaxy 7?
Oh boy.
It comes with a virtual thing, okay?
Oh boy.
You know me, technology. Never.
But we're also going to show you another photo that actually was having a hard time just trying to be copied for some reason. Because as soon as we copied it, it wouldn't show itself for some reason. Now, this picture was taken in the building where we met up with
Tour guides.
With the tour guides, basically. It's like their building kind of a thing. But what we've noticed is, well, she actually noticed some odd markings on the walls, faces, for that matter.
Well, I mean, they mentioned it after. I mean, I noticed, but they mentioned it right after I noticed. Saying that there is one particular face that stands out the most that looks like said person. I forgot his name. He was like a bouncer for that era.
There's more detail than the
video.
actual. These are blogs with little bits and pieces of it, but you'll get the actual full length video without any of our commentary in a separate video. But yeah, like it was very strange. I mean, everything was working perfectly. Everything was recording, you know, records all doing fine, you know. I didn't really think we had an issue, but apparently as soon as I tried to play back some of the stuff, a majority of even the good stuff, to be honest, was like, I wanted to get the recording where supposedly it's a myth that, you know, one of the bride's places, you know, that bride that sticks out, you know, that realistic one.
That was kind of creepy that you took and it just went.
Yeah. Supposedly.
But it's the one in Chihuahua, but why would it? I think enough people, you know, that saying goes, enough people believe in it, and there would be enough energy to believe in it. You know what I mean?
I guess I get what you mean on that.
If you guys don't get it, that's cool. Whatever, you know.
But yeah, supposedly we saw a bride there. I don't know if maybe because it's near the paranormal place, we might be able to snag a picture. If not, once again, the paranormal has struck again, trying
How
to
many
forbid
times have
us.
we released entities into this world?
Actually, this one wasn't as bad. The
No,
first
that one
episode was that we did it.
And I have yet to
got
ever watch
us.
it again. Like, I've only watched it once. I'll never
Yes,
watch it
we
again.
have never watched that video
That
actually
is-
ever again.
Not our fault.
Um,
Kudos to you guys if you guys keep watching it, but not our fault.
yeah. But basically, like as I was mentioning, what was it? The story of that bride basically is saying that, you know, that was actually an actual person, and, you know, even like basically the whole mannequin was actually
It's
made out of.
embalming. Kind of, they embalmed her in a different way, and that supposedly they switched it out with the mannequin. And you can't really tell you can kind of tell the difference between it because the hands look more real. It happened like I think in the early 1900s, supposedly. But this was in Chihuahua, like, you know, in Chihuahua, Mexico. Everybody knows. And in reality, I mean, it's like a replica there. That people say that it moves.
I
The
think
one
that's
here.
basically
The one here, but you know,
people being paranoid and wanting to believe so much that they believe that it moves.
again, goes the same.
And I'll be honest, regardless if that's just a copy of the mannequin there, it's still actually rather creepy looking. We'll see if we can try to snag a picture the next time we head on out there. But yeah, right now we'll show you the 2 little screenshots, and you know, if anything occurs after you watch or seen the photos, you know, let us know. We try to put warning labels to our videos because we actually believe in that. So
Again, this week we actually are going to 2 places. So update on that. We're going to the cemetery and then the other one in San Elizario.
Yes. More information, or if you want to join us or meet us there, it's on our Facebook page. We'll leave a link below, basically. Anyway, let me show you the 2 photos here. I have to kind of pretend that. Oh, it's probably not much to tell. Like, you could see the one that with a corrupted video. It has like a purplish, bluish, purplish looking color, and like
In reality, how it looks is nothing normal
mm-hmm.
of the sort. I mean, I haven't really ever seen a camera do that, especially on the spot. Ignore that. But it's something to think about. I mean, maybe if you guys, when you guys see that picture, maybe you guys can look up something and let us know what you guys think or what you've researched on it. My opinion is, again, my opinion, not saying it's true or not, but I say it was something that was trying to show itself, but couldn't.
Maybe I actually didn't want to, or didn't really want us to.
It felt aggressive in a way. Mostly towards me.
That's because you're more in tune to that than I am.
Either way, it doesn't matter, but anyway.
And then the other photo, as you see, you can't see much, but this is like supposedly on the 2nd floor before that. There was a part of it that burned down. It was some kind of an accident, I forgot. But, you know, you see like 2 little doorways that are kind of, you know, blocked up with bricks and stuff. And of course, they're the burned areas. You could barely see it, but, you know, if you want to take a closer look at it, you know, actually get into contact with us, you know, I think we're just probably going to put these screenshots actually on the page to see what you guys think, because
Maybe we'll do the tour again and we'll take better pictures of that.
That is if if whatever's there doesn't try to stop us again.
You know, we did take a very good picture. It's just more the fact that, keep in mind again, everything got deleted somewhere, somehow.
we would have loved to shown you more, but basically it's just been, it's out of our control basically.
Out of respect.
So we just leave it be as it is, and well, that's basically it that we wanted to discuss. If you want to join with us for our next tour here, you know, information's on the Facebook page. Feel free to like and go ahead and just subscribe here on YouTube.
Or suggestions, maybe stories that you have.
Yeah, you know, give us, it doesn't even matter where you live, you know, tell us your story, you know.
Send us videos if you guys want, you know, feel free to do whatever you guys feel of expressing yourselves, and we'll get you in touch.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
That's if we have time. No, I got time.
We'll make, you got time, you can't even pick up your own clothes, so you got time.
They didn't need to know that.
Too late.
Okay.
Everyone out there in the world knows that you just leave your clothes on the floor.
Well, it just basically indicates that I'm the man of the relationship.
Ignore what she says. She not know what she does.